The story is purely a work of fiction. Any resemblance to any incident, person, or place is absolutely unintentional and coincidental.
The Amazon rainforest is as mysterious as it is beautiful, both because of its secrets and varieties that it contains. In a very unfrequented part of that forest, there lived a community with their strange beliefs, rituals, and conventions. They were the Amazonians and were a female tribe. They were very ruthless and had very little similarity to those women that we see today around us. Not only that, they did not allow any males, but they had immense hatred for them. Because of their hatred, their procreation had to be very different from that of the other human beings that we encounter each and every day. Their motto was to destroy the males from the earth, and they were ready to fight to the last because of this hatred. And if it was actually impossible to destroy them, they would have liked to make them slaves for themselves. In order to procreate at an interval of 3 years, they used to attack the ships. They were fierce warriors and could easily defeat ordinary cargo ships or fishing ships. They arrested the men and used them to impregnate themselves. When their pregnancy was confirmed, they used to kill them and throw them on the sea. One could say this practice was heinous, but more heinous was their practice of selling the male babies in exchange of weapons. However, a girl child was accepted. Those unfortunate male babies grew up to be slaves. Sometimes they died before reaching the adolescence, or sometimes they grew up to be strong and able-bodied men. Esclar was just one of those men. The Amazonians did not believe in any racial discriminations. Generation after generation, colored and white, short and tall, blondes and elves, lived side by side, completely unaffected by the rest of the world. They stood firmly united by their concept of womanhood and hatred of males.
We don't teach hatred, except when it comes to men.
Not only that they hated the males, but they also hated those women who were living amicably with the males. Doesn't matter if they are father and daughter, mother and son, brother and sister, or husband and wife. Conventionally, they had a queen, and this post was not hereditary. Their chiefess was conventionally selected through the toughest selection procedure. One had to be an all-rounder. They were hunters, warriors, and were trained through the toughest of training conditions. No slackness in training were allowed. Injuries were very common, and many died during training, but more of them died during the selection procedure of the queen. One was selected for 20 years and was responsible for the safety and security of her clan, policy making, and maintenance of their culture and customs. No one was beyond the law, and the laws in the forms of customs and conventions were unchangeable. All strictly had to abide by the law, and violators were beheaded in front of the members of the clan. Just a few days ago, the queen was selected after contesting for 1 long year, proving her mettle in fighting skills, mental capacity, sense of judgment, and commitment for her people. She was crowned ceremoniously, and she took her oath for the protection, development, and well-being of her community.
In the name of my clan, I solemnly promise to undertake the responsibility of the well-being protection of my people and the overall integrity.
As soon as the new Queen Luna ascended the throne, the tri-yearly venture of attacking ships for procreation was there. They went out for an ambush. It was the early spring, and a Brazilian ship was passing the Atlantic. They returned successfully with 50 captive men. Out of the captives, there was a forsaken male Amazonian, Esclar. He worked as a slave in that ship. According to the law, the queen had the right to choose first, and she chose Escla for herself. Everyone hailed her choice. By astrological calculations, on certain nights they started using the men. In due course of time, those engaged in procreation confirmed of their success. Now it was time to kill the males. The custom was to kill them together or one by one as per the order of the queen. No one had ever regretted or questioned it. The queen this time ordered to kill them one by one. The fact was that there was a soft corner in her mind for Escla. She was torn between the idea of killing him and secretly letting him escape. Only a few days ago she took the oath for the preservation of her clan and its customs, and on the other hand, the soft corner for the unfortunate man was there. No Amazonian had ever faced such a problem, but probably she was not as hard-hearted as the rest. As if to add insult to injury, the astrologer announced that her baby is going to be a male. She tried to be firm. She ordered all of them to be killed at once. Reina de Beliza was carrying important diplomats and officers, and the government of Brazil started an armed search operation, and within a few days found the ship in one side of the Amazonian forest. The Amazonians were warriors. They could fight, but not win against a trained, modern, disciplined army armed with automatic fire weapons. With high quality professionalism and strategic tactics, the army operated its full function on the Amazonians. The senior council ordered those pregnant to take shelter in the secret chambers for the preservation of the race. The chosen Amazonians hid themselves in a flash. From their hideouts, they saw their own people dying. Seeing death is nothing new to her. She herself killed many, but people were dying her. Most strikingly was that women were killed by men. This was just unbearable. She could not take it anyhow. She felt if she could do something about it, but she had absolutely nothing to do if she wanted to protect herself. When the encounter was over, some of the diplomats and officials that were still alive were rescued and the army moved out. Luna and her company came out of their hideouts. They were full of rage and were bubbling with a sense of revenge.